Hey everyone, I'm back, and today I'm going to be talking about the 2024 Oscars, talking about the 2023 movies. And like I said in my previous video when I talked about American Fiction, I haven't seen every single movie that was nominated, nor have I seen every single movie that was nominated for Best Picture, which was something that I was trying to do, but unfortunately there were some movies that were just impossible for me to find, and I just don't really like the idea of having to buy movies digitally. Like, if I'm going to buy a movie, I want a physical copy. I want physical media, not digital. That's just what I prefer. But from what I did see, I saw 8 of the nominees that were nominated for Best Picture. And overall, from what I did see of these movies that were nominated, I would say the worst I'll say about it is nothing offensive. I'm not super upset. The only things that stood out to me were just like some things that I wish had more nominations, or some other things could have won possibly. But for the most part, nothing really stood out to me. Like seeing Cillian Murphy win Best Actor, that was nice, and I think this was the first time he won an Oscar. Same thing with Christopher Nolan for Best Director, and Oppenheimer winning Best Picture. Like, that was cool. It's not like my favorite movie of the year, but at the very least, it's a movie that I really enjoyed. And I think someone said this, I forget who. The movies that are usually either nominated or Oscar winners, there's usually stuff that's good, but there's always movies that are better. So, out of the movies that were nominated, I think that they gave awards to good movies and to people who deserved the awards. And Oppenheimer won 7 Oscars, and I was happy about that. I thought that they were justified. And out of the list of categories, I felt like they chose well. But anyways, actor in a leading role, like I said, Cillian Murphy won. Paul Giamatti, I wouldn't be super upset if he won. That would be pick number 2 if Cillian Murphy didn't get it. And the rest of them, Jeffrey Wright, he did a good job, but just not top 5 of the year for me. Bradley Cooper, no. And I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's in a movie called Rustin. I don't want to mispronounce his name and just embarrass myself. So he's in a movie called Rustin, which I have not seen, and I'll get to that another time. Oh, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier. The only 2 Best Picture nominees I haven't seen are Poor Things and The Zone of Interest. But moving on, actor in a supporting role, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. I'm happy with him winning. This category was pretty strong. Like, there wasn't really anyone that would make me mad. Like, everyone did a great job in this category, so nothing really to complain about if it wasn't Robert Downey Jr. Actress in a leading role, Emma Stone for Poor Things. Haven't seen it, so I can't comment on whether or not that one was deserved. Actress in a supporting role, no real big standouts for me. I don't know who I would pick, honestly. No real strong opinions. I don't know how to pronounce her name for The Holdovers. She did a good job. I'm not upset, but just probably not my pick. And I haven't seen any of the animated feature films. I haven't seen any of the shorts or documentaries, so I'll just skip over those. Cinematography went to Oppenheimer. Not upset about that. And I'm glad it wasn't Maestro, which I don't even know why that movie is nominated for so many things. Colors of the Flower Moon, I would have been just as happy with if that won, but Oppenheimer works. And surprisingly, Colors of the Flower Moon didn't win anything, which surprised me. I thought it would have won something. I don't know what, but especially since I feel like I'm one of the people who really loved it. But costume design, Poor Things won. Can't really comment because I haven't seen it yet. I was thinking it was going to go to Barbie, but I was a bit surprised there. And directing went to Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. And if it went to anyone else for this category, I feel like I would be just as happy. And I know there's some controversy that Greta Gerwig should have been nominated for directing, but I've also heard on the other side of the argument, like, just have more nominations. Like, just have like 6 or 10 in each category, like they did with Best Picture, and problem solved. But nope, can't do that. But anyways, Christopher Nolan winning, I'm happy with that. Film editing went to Oppenheimer, which I haven't seen Poor Things again, but the rest of them I have seen. Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, and Killers of the Flower Moon. And out of the 4 that I have seen, Oppenheimer is the only one where the editing stands out, because it's kind of told non-chronologically, in a sense. Technically, yes, but not like to the extent that Memento is told. Getting a little off track. Oppenheimer winning, I guess it makes the most sense out of all of these. Okay, international feature film I'm gonna skip. I've seen literally none of those. Makeup and hairstyling, I feel like I can skip. No feelings on that because I haven't seen Poor Things. Original score went to Oppenheimer, which is the only score from out of all these that I can remember, because I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon in a while. But Oppenheimer, not unhappy with that. I'm just glad that it didn't go to American Fiction. I haven't seen Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny yet. Music, original song went to What Was I Made For, the Billie Eilish song from Barbie, which is fine. I would have thought it would go to I'm Just Ken from the same movie. But not super upset about it. In fact, I never really had any strong feelings for this category, so. Production design went to Poor Things. Nothing to say about there. Sound went to The Zone of Interest, which I have not seen. I would have thought it would go to the loudest movie on here, which would be either Oppenheimer or Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, or maybe The Creator, something very loud. But they gave it to The Zone of Interest, which, who knows, maybe that's very loud. Visual effects went to Godzilla -1, and I pretty much called it when I first saw that category. I was like, it's going to go to Godzilla -1. I don't know how I knew, but I just knew. All right, writing adapted screenplay went to American Fiction, which kind of triggered me a little bit. Because out of all these, it was the one I was hoping would not win. Like, I would much rather Barbie or Oppenheimer win, or Poor Things or The Zone of Interest, even though I haven't seen those. Like, I know I keep saying I haven't seen those, but I just want to let's say what makes sense. And I also want to acknowledge that there were other nominees, not just 3. I want to say that there were 5. But out of the 3 that I have seen, American Fiction was the weakest one, in my opinion. Second last category that I'm going to bring up, writing for original screenplay, and Anatomy of a Fall took it, which I'm fine with. I was happy that it was not Maestro or The Holdovers, but kind of disappointed that May December didn't get it, because that was the only category that it got an Oscar nomination for. And I wish that it was nominated for more Oscars, because that was my favorite movie of the year. And Past Lives, I could see getting something, because it didn't win anything. And lastly, Best Picture went to Oppenheimer, like I said already. Not unhappy about that. Would have been cool if Past Lives won, but like I said earlier, there's usually good movies that win Oscars, but there's also movies that are usually better. In the end, not a bad Oscars in terms of what won. Jimmy Kimmel as the host was fine. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't hate him. If I never heard anything from him, then my life would be no different. And I guess one last thing to say, the gag with John Cena was unexpected. I'll say that much. Like, I did not expect to see that while watching the Oscars. So they got that. But anyways, that that's about all I have to say about the Oscars. It wasn't super disappointing, and they gave awards to good movies, and I'm happy. So let me know what you thought of the Oscars down below for this year, 2024. And my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll get my review for RoboCop in my next video. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.